Yes.
I love the sound of these radial engines. Okay, up a little bit. We have oil pressure, that's what we care about right now. It's the bottom right instrument. We haven't even really talked about that, but I'm going to take care of the engine for you today. My goal is just to get you up to speed on how to fly this thing. Next time when you come back, we're going to teach you about the engine.
Cool.
So, okay, we're going to let this thing warm up. Let's talk about how to turn this airplane.
Okay.
Inside, we talked about it. When you make turns in airplanes, not only do you have to use the stick left and right, but you have to use your feet, the pedals as well. So, what we're going to do, go ahead and put your feet on those pedals down there, Nadine, and grab the stick. What you said, you're right-handed. So, when we make a left-hand turn, for example, we're going to ease the stick to the left, about right there. If you look over here, you can see this aileron is up. The other one is down. It's going to make the airplane roll to the left. When we get the angle of bank that we want, we have to tell the airplane to stop its roll rate. So we're going to move this stick back to neutral. Because if you left it here like you would a car or a boat or whatever, it's just going to keep on going all the way around. So they call that a slow roll. And when you get upside down, it kind of hurts to hang by a belt. Yeah. So that's why we're not going to do that today. But again, when we make a left-hand turn, we'll ease the stick to the left. She's going to roll to the left. You get the angle of bank that you want. Stick back to neutral. Now, let's talk about the pedals, the rudder. We have a big old engine up front, producing a lot of power. Big old 100-pound propeller up there, and it creates a lot of what we call torque. So there's an invisible force, the torque, always pulling the nose to the left. So when we make that left-hand turn, it's our lucky day. We don't need any left rudder at all to make a left-hand turn. The torque's going to do that for you, okay? But when we go to the right, it's the same thing. We're going to ease the stick to the right. She's going to roll to the right. We get the angle of bank that we want. Stick back to neutral. We actually have to use a little right rudder to overcome the torque. So the first couple of minutes when we're flying, we're going to be doing a lot of turns just to figure that out. Because you don't know how much rudder pedal pressure to use or stick force or any of that. It takes a couple of minutes to learn that.
Do you use the rudder at the same time that you're...
You really want to, but what we're going to do first, when we're learning, you can use the stick first. We're going to roll the wings to where we want them, stick back to neutral, and then we're going to add the rudder. Now, your question that you have for me and that you will ask me when we get in the air is, well, okay, I get that, the rudder thing, but how much rudder? You need a little bit, a lot of it? I mean, how do you know? Look at that little ball, little black ball with two little white lines. You see it?
Yeah.
It's a bubble level. When we're making a right-hand turn and that ball's in the middle, that's where we want it, okay? But without using the rudder, that little ball is going to be out to the right of that, where it's at right now. So we add right rudder pedal pressure until that ball comes back in the middle. Just remember this, step on the ball, all right? On the top of that instrument, on the right side, it says R. It says R for a reason, right rudder, okay? Those are the only instruments that you're going to be using today.
Okay.
Altimeter, how high we are above the ground. In fact, what I want you to do is move that little black knob until that long needle is pointing to the number 8. Yeah, exactly right there. There you go. And the reason why I want it at the 8 is because we're 800 feet above sea level right now. We measure how high we are above the ground by sea level. So we're at 800 feet above sea level. So when we're at 1,000 feet above the ground, that altimeter is going to say 1,800 feet. A little bit of simple math, head math. 8 basically is 0. Airspeed's at 0 and the little ball's in the middle. And those are the things we want to talk about.
Okay.
Your fuel level's right above your head.
Yeah.
That little glass tube, each quarter tank is an hour of flight time. So we have 2 hours and 10 minutes of flight time. So we have plenty of fuel for today's flight. Mixture's rich and the fuel is on. If you look in the left side of the airplane, you'll see those the little red ball that I'm moving around. That's your mixture control. Don't worry about that today. And we certainly want the fuel going to the engine. That's that little red arrow that I'm moving around down there. What I'm doing with you basically is I'm going through the pre-takeoff checklist, and everything at this point looks really good. Cool. One last thing. I want you to look straight ahead of the windscreen. Do you see those wires that come out of the cockpit right ahead of us? They go to the top wing. Straight ahead. They're a big V.
Yeah.
That angle right now that we have, that's 45 degrees. Those wires are 45 degrees to the horizon. The horizon's level, those are 45 degrees. If I ask you for a certain angle, you're just gonna have to guess. You know, like climbing turns will be 20-degree angle of bank. Then remember inside I said we're gonna be doing 30-degree angle of bank turns. And then lastly, we'll do the 45s, which are easy because you just put those wires parallel with the horizon.
Okay.
So, well, good. So the next thing we're going to do before we call the tower and start the taxi is we're going to listen to our little radio frequency. It has everything about the airport that we need to know, and we have to listen to it before we contact the tower. Here it is.
Notice airman, runway 17 reels out of service, 120-foot crane.
And Nadine, if you don't mind, just have your feet on the floor for now.
Yeah.
But hold on to that stick so it doesn't bang around.
Initial contact. You have information, Bravo. Zoo Airport information, Bravo. 18530 Zulu observation. Wind 1505. Visibility 1.
All right, that's all I need to hear. So what I'm going to do is I'll call the tower here real quick. Tell them who I am, where I'm at, what I want to do. Kalamazoo ground, Stearman 1 at the zoo with Bravo ready to taxi 17 at Foxtrot.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo ground, runway 17 at Foxtrot, taxi via Bravo Foxtrot.
17 Foxtrot, Bravo Foxtrot for Stearman 1. So we have a tower here. You can see it over there on the left. So anytime we do anything here, we have to get permission to do so, which is, you know, it's a safety thing. I told him what I wanted to do, and he gave me instructions to get there. And then once he gives me those instructions, I always read them back to him. So there's no misunderstanding. That'd be bad if I pulled out in front of a jet or something.
Yes.
So taxiing this airplane, Nadine, you're going to notice, looking straight ahead, blind.
Yep.
Can't see a thing. So we go a little bit to the right, and then we hang our head over the left side of the airplane. Nothing's there. Back to the left and hang our head over the right-hand side. Back and forth, zigzagging. And they want us to go down here to this intersection. Basically, it's calm, so. And my oil temperature is rising to where we need it to be.
It's got to be at least 50 degrees centigrade?
No, 30. You can see it says, you know.
Oh, it says 30.
Yeah, that's what I need it to be. It gets yellow or green or so at 40 there, but you can't get 40 degrees at it. You'll be running this thing for an hour. These are really cool running engines.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and bring the stick back to your lap, all the way back. There you go. Let me check my engine here. Check my magnetos. That's good. That's good. It's still cold. Yeah. Let it warm up just a couple more minutes here. So Nadine, here's what's going to happen. When we get cleared to take off, what I want you to do is I want you to hold on to the stick with me so you can kind of feel what I'm doing. I don't want you on the pedals, and let me tell you why. On the tops of the pedals, that's where the brakes are. You never want your feet up there, because if you were to get up on the pedals on your first takeoff, the airplane and up on the tops, and accidentally put the brakes on, the airplane will flip upside down on the runway, which would be bad. So we're going to omit that problem from the get-go. Just have your feet on the floor for now. Once we get in the air, we're going to do 2 turns together, one to the left and then one to the right. And then once we get those turns out of the way, then I'm going to give you the airplane. 2 words of advice. 1, if you look outside the airplane, the majority of the time you're going to do great. If you want to stare at instruments, we should be in a Cessna or Cirrus or something with more stuff to look at. And the other thing is, what you don't want is, I recognize that this is a high-stress deal. What you don't want to do is have a death grip on the stick, because if you're really squeezing hard, your hand's going to cramp in pretty short order. What do you think? You ready? All right. Let me get up by this little yellow line here. See, there's an airplane out there. If you look to your left, there's no reason for me to talk to the tower guys. There's an airplane landing right there. You see him? So I'll just kind of wait here. Wait for him to land, then I'll give him a call. I think this is kind of, you're going to love this. This is fun to do.
I know.
But when it's a really nice weather day like we have today, it makes it that much better.
Yeah, I really appreciate the fact that Mary did this, because I know this terrifies her.
That you're flying in this right now?
Yeah.
Really?
She actually, when I used to do it for the state, after the second flight, she said to me, "Don't tell me when you're going to do this."
Really?
Okay?
Well, that is nice that she's doing that.
Yeah, because I know this is like, and I think that's why Pam is our
I'll see
friend.
it up at the hotel right on Gulf.
Pam is a nun, and she served. She was down in El Salvador when they were killing those nuns.
Turn it right on.
And she's just a really, she actually suffered post-traumatic stress syndrome from that.
Right.
And I think she said to me, can we invite Pam? And I said, sure. And I knew it was so that she wasn't sitting there by herself.
Yeah, right. To get her mind off the fact of what you're doing.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so again, just have your feet on the floor
Yeah.
for takeoff, but feel what I do with the stick. You're not going to really feel it move much. Let me contact the tower. This guy's going to get off over here off our right. He's taking his own sweet time, isn't he? Oh, well, we got plenty of time. Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1 ready to go, 17 Foxtrot.
There's one Kalamazoo Tower. Runway 17 at Foxtrot, left turn out approved, clear for takeoff.
Good to go left turn out, Stearman 1. All right, so here's how this works. Takeoff.
Tower 78 Alpha Hotel is clear to Kalamazoo aircraft, correct.
You can't see where we're going. So what you don't want to do on takeoff is start looking left and looking right, because if you look left, guess which way you're going to go? You're going to go left, vice versa. So the idea is we're going to get out here in the middle of the runway, which is right about here. We're going to look straight ahead. We're going to focus on infinity, and when we do that, peripherally, out of the corners of our eyes, you can see that we're going straight down the runway. We're going to relax the stick to here in neutral. That's where neutral is, right there. And we're going to gently start bringing the power forward. All right, that's full power right there. So the airplane's speeding up, going down the runway. We gotta just keep it going straight. It's ready to fly here, Nadine. We're gonna start gently clean the nose up, and we're in the air. So what we want now is we want airspeed. So we're gonna lower the nose a little tiny bit. You can go ahead and put your feet on the pedals down there. If you look at your airspeed indicator, we're going about 75. That's the airspeed we want for the climb out. So lower the nose a little bit. Ease the stick forward. Right now we're going about 65, 70. There you go. Great. If you look outside the airplane, you got a really nice horizon where the sky meets the earth. All right? And that's what's going to tell us what this thing is doing. So the first thing we're going to do, Nadine, is we're going to do a right-hand turn, left-hand turn together. So, gently ease the stick to your left. She's going to roll, not too much. Shallow angle of bank turn. If you look at that little black ball on your instrument panel, see how that ball's in the middle? Yeah, you don't have to use any left rudder at all to help the airplane turn to the left, because remember, the torque of the engine does that for you. Good. All right, roll the wings back to level. When the wings are level, stick back to neutral. Perfect. That's lesson number 1. We're going to go straight ahead a little bit farther. I don't want you making a right turn now. You'll be right over a bunch of houses. Good. All right, we're beyond the house. Let's try a right-hand turn. So ease the stick to the right. She's going to roll to the right. You get the angle of bank that we want. Good. Right there. Stick to neutral. Now look at that little black ball. Keep the turn. Yeah, it's out. It's a little bit out to the right. So push forward on the right pedal. So the ball comes back in the middle. There you go. Right there. And then once that ball's in the middle, you hold that rudder pedal pressure throughout the whole turn, and you look right back outside. That's how you turn a Stearman. Pretty simple. Let's try a left-hand turn. There you go. Good. Stick to neutral. Nothing too steep. And bring the nose up a little bit. There you go. We're going to continue climbing. We want to climb at 75 miles an hour. We're going to again head up to 1,800 feet above the sea level. Good. Roll the wings back to level. Now, a lot of the maneuvers that we're going to be doing today, they're called ground reference maneuvers. All right, so what that means is just by looking over the side of the airplane, you can see which direction we're going. What's nice about southwestern Michigan are all the roads that are laid out north, south, east, west direction. So like right now, you're just about going east. And I know that because I'm looking at this road right here. It's east and west. Let's make a right-hand turn. Let's go to the south. So you ease the stick to your right. Bring the nose up a little tiny bit. There you go. And remember, on that right-hand turn, you got to push forward on that right pedal a little tiny bit. There you go. As we come around, you're going to see a road right ahead of you. That's Avenue 27. That's north and south. Good. Very nice. Let's make a left-hand turn. Let's go back to the east. On this one, we don't need to use any rudder. Bring that nose up a little tiny bit. There you go. We're going to continue climbing. We got another couple hundred feet to climb. Good. We'll roll the wings back to level here. Let's make another right-hand turn. So basically, Nadine, what this is, it's kind of like baby steps, right? We're going to start off with the easy stuff, build yourself a really nice foundation, and go from there. Going right. Bring the nose up, little right rudder. Good, and then we'll roll the wings back to level here. And we'll make one more left-hand turn, back to the east. If you can't see a road, if you look out here, all these trees, it's all section, there are property lines. You can see north, south, east, west. There you go. There's a road off your left over here. There's trees up here. Good. Perfect. Now you're getting the hang of it. Good. Now this is plenty high. We're at about 1,700 feet. Minus the 800 feet that we started out at, so it's 900 feet above the ground. That's plenty high. So far, so good?
Yeah. All
right, so let's start our lesson. Focus in on those wires right ahead of us. We talked about those on the ground. Those are 45 degrees. We're going to do a 180-degree turn to our left. What we're looking for here is a 30-degree angle of bank. 30 degrees. Let's try that. We got to guess 10, 20, 30. Good. Right there. Keep it going. We don't have to use any left rudder. Keep it going left at 30 degrees until we're heading back to the west. There's your cheater line right there. That's north-south, so that means 90 degrees. It's kind of hard to see this road here, but you can see there's trees on either side of it. Perfect. Good, Nadine. Let's try one of those to your left. I'm sorry, to your right. Same thing to your right. 180 to your right, 30-degree angle of bank. 10, 20, 30. Good. Stick to neutral. Add a little right rudder. Good. Around we go. Very good. And then if you look off your right wing down below, there's a power lines right there. And those are north-south. So that's halfway through your 180. Keep it going right until we're heading back to the east. So far, so good?
Yep.
Terrific. By the way, I forgot to tell you this. If you look at me in the mirror, I let go of the stick after your second turn, so you've been doing all this stuff on your own. Nice job, by the way. Okay, so next is a big circle in the sky, right? 360-degree turn to your left, and what we're looking for here is a 45-degree angle of bank. So good. Put that left wire parallel to the horizon and a little bit above the horizon. That'll be a level turn in the sky, a little steeper, a little bit more. Now, if that wire falls below the horizon like it has now, we're going downhill. So bring that nose up. There you go, right there. Perfect. That's a 180. You can see how much quicker this airplane turns. 270 is going to be right here. .360 is here. Good. We'll roll the wings back to level. So use the stick to your right. Good. Let's do the same thing, but this time let's do it to your right. 360 right, 45-degree angle of bank. Add a little right rudder. Keep that ball in the middle. Wire on the horizon and a little bit above. Good. If it goes too far, so you use the stick back to the left a little bit. Left on the stick, left, stick. Get that wire parallel to the horizon and above the horizon. Good. We'll call that's a 180 there. Keep it going right. .270 degrees is there. I'm looking at that road right down there. You're doing great. And Nadine, that's a 360. We'll roll the wings back to level. So what do you think so far? Does it fly like you thought it was going to fly? Is it better? Is it worse? What do you think?
I didn't understand before about the torque.
Yeah.
The right side is harder.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder, but when you break it down, the only difference is the rudder. So if that, yeah, you have to do the turns until you get more comfortable with them. All right, cool. So the next maneuver is that lazy 8. Now, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to come on the controls with you. We're going to do half of a lazy 8 together. I want to show you how to do it.
Okay.
And then if you're comfortable with them, and you will be, I'll have you do them on your own. All right, so stay with me. Here I am with you on the stick. All right, so if you look at our airspeed indicator, we're going about 80, and that's plenty fast. Shallow turn, 10 degrees to our left. That's all you want right there. Nothing steeper than that. Baby turn. And then we're going to bring the nose up. So now we're going uphill and to the left. Now listen to the airplane. If you listen to the engine, you can hear the RPM decreasing as it goes uphill. Right now, we're not moving the stick at all. Gravity is pulling the nose through the horizon. Now listen to the airplane. There's 80, 85, there's 90, 95, there's 100. You hear the whistle? Good. We're going to roll the wings back to level. Bring the nose up to the horizon, and we're going the other direction. So it's another way to do a 180, only this time we're going up and down at the same time. What do you think about that? Do you like that? All right, airplane is yours. Let's have you try one to your left. I'll talk you through it. 10 degrees, good. Bring the nose up, up. Hold that stick right there, Nadine. Don't move anything. Look over your left shoulder. Look how steep this is. Isn't that pretty? And here comes the nose. Good, start rolling it right and up, right and up. Good. Very good. Now, we're going to do one of those. We'll go ahead and roll the wings back to level. We're not going to do that yet. Back to level, nose to the horizon. Let me explain this before you do it. We're going to do one to the right. The only difference here is the rudder, and you have to use it when it's over the top, okay? No one's around you, Nadine. Let's try one. So shallow turn to your right. Stick to neutral. Bring the nose up. Up. Hold that stick right there. Push on the right pedal now. Start rolling it to your left and bring the nose up. Left, left, and up. Gently up because you're going to pull some G's. Oh! So the steeper it goes uphill, the steeper it goes downhill. Oh, so you're a G, now I know you're a G junkie. You're starting to laugh at there. All right, so we're going to go back up a little higher, and here's what's next. We're going to do one of those to your left, followed by one to your right, no stopping in between the two. But before we do that, let's go up a little higher here, Rick. We'll go up to 1,600 feet. Lower the nose, lower the nose. You got to maintain 75 miles an hour. So there's 65, so lower the nose a little bit, use the stick forward. All right, here we are. This altitude is fine. Let's try one, Nadine. All right, so we're going to try a lazy 8 to your left. So 10 degrees left, bring the nose up. Hold it right there. Good. Here comes the nose to the horizon. Start rolling it to the right. 10 degrees right. nose right on through the horizon. 10 degrees right. Good, hold it right there. You can hear the airplane slowing down as it goes uphill. A little right rudder here. Look over your right shoulder. Look how steep you are. Enjoy the view. We'll roll it back to your left. And that's a lazy 8 all by yourself. So what do you think so far? Does it fly like you thought it was going to fly? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it easier?
No, it's good.
It's fun, right?
It's not as hard as I thought it would be.
Of course not. It's built for an 18-year-old. Go ahead and roll the wings back to level. To the right. Now, we got one last thing to do, and it's the slow flight all the way through the stall. But before we do that, we really want to be up a little higher. So remember, she climbs at 75. So there's 75 right there. If you bring the nose up and you don't maintain airspeed, it's going to stall. And that's not what we want to do yet. You're going to go up a little higher first. There you go. There's 65, there's 70. There's 75. Just hold this airspeed right here. Lower the nose, lower the nose. We're going to go up to 1,800 feet on this one. There you go. Now she's climbing. Good. Hold it right here. It'll climb. All right, Nadine, this is great. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Your job is going to be just to keep the wings level as best you can. That should not be hard for you. It's so calm up here. I'm going to gently bring the power back. There's no one up here but us. All right, that's great. Now, gently lower the nose. Put the airplane into a shallow. There you go. Good. Now, tell me when you can hear the whistle of the wind in the wires. You hear that? Good. So right now you're going almost 100 miles an hour. Bring the airplane back to level flight. Perfect. Now listen to it. Do you hear it slowing down? Good. Bring the nose up some more. Do you hear it slowing down? Good. It's time. Bring the nose up a little bit more. Now hold the stick right there. Don't move it at all. Here's your stall. There. Kind of feel it. Yeah, the nose is coming through the horizon. Bring the nose up again. That really didn't stall much. Bring the nose up a little bit. There you go. Up a little bit more. Up some more. There you go. Now hold it right there. Don't move it at all. The nose is going to fall a little bit faster this time. All right, so there's your stall. Don't move anything. Watch what happens. Listen to it. Listen to the airplane. Hear the whistle of the wind in the wires. Creates more lift. The nose comes right back up to level flight. All right, so it doesn't need any help from you. It recovers on its own. But the idea behind doing that is you need to know what it sounds like when it goes fast. It's loud. You need to know what it sounds like when it goes slow. It's quiet. And then if you ever inadvertently stall the airplane, it's, as you saw, it's not a big deal. It's not scary at all. Okay, we're down here at about 300 feet above the ground. Let's climb back up. Remember, 75 miles an hour. Give you some more power. So what you're learning how now is what we call energy management. Manage the airspeed that you have. We want to climb, but if you allow the airplane to go too slow, it will not climb and it'll stall. There you go, good. Now, in World War II, you would have been expected to solo this airplane in between 8 and 12 hours of instruction, like I said, inside. You've been flying the airplane now for about 17 minutes. What do you think? You think you could fly this thing by yourself in 10 hours? Yeah, I think so. It's just a matter of learning how to do takeoff and landings. Let's go up a little higher. 75 miles an hour. Okay. This is good here, Nadine. We'll roll the wings back to level. Now, you admitted to me a little earlier that going right was a little bit difficult, so let's practice that, okay? Let's do a 45-degree angle of bank turn to your right, and let's see if we can maintain this altitude here. Remember, add that right rudder on this one. There you go. Hold it right there. Stick to neutral, put that wire parallel with the horizon and a little bit above the horizon. That's 90 degrees. a 180. 270s here. There's a rut right underneath you. That's east-west. Good. That's a 360. Perfect. Let's go back to your left. Same thing to your left. 360 left. This one will be easy for you. You don't have to worry about the rudder at all. There you go. Now, do you like this stick better than the yoke in that Cessna you flew? Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
That's a nice steep turn. That's a 180. That's about a 60-degree angle of bank turn. 270, 360s here. Good. We'll roll the wings back to level. Now, look at your altimeter on that one. So on that turn right there, we lost like 400 feet. So the steeper you turn, the more lift the airplane loses. So that's why we were in kind of a descending spiral on that one. And if we want to climb, we got to climb with airspeed, because there's another stall right there. Same thing, stall with power. Did you like that lazy 8?
Yeah.
I knew you would. So let's go ahead and lower the nose to level flight. We're plenty high here. We'll let the airplane speed up a little bit. 10 degrees left, and then bring the nose on up. There you go, hold that stick right there. You can listen to it going over the top, nice and slow. We're at 1,000 feet above the ground. Here comes the nose to the horizon. Good. Start rolling it to your right. 10 degrees right, bring the nose up. Hold that stick right there, push on that right rudder. Now Nadine, if you look outside the airplane, look how steep you are, almost straight up.
Wow.
Downhill you fly. Start rolling it left, and bring the nose up. Those are fun, huh? Good. So the deal was you fly the Stearman for right around 65 hours in your primary training course. From the Stearman, you would go into an airplane called a BT-13, basic trainer, and then from there the Texan, and then from there the fighter. So there was a 4-step process. This is step number 1. And you'd have fun. I'm looking at you in the mirror. And the mere fact alone that you're looking outside the airplane all the time means to me that you're comfortable in the airplane. That's what our goal was. All right, I got one more thing I kind of want to have you do for me. Let's make a right-hand turn. I think you'll get a kick out of this. Now, as you come around, you're going to see the section lines once again. I want you to head east. There's a road off your right wing. I want you to head west. This road is east and west off your right wing. Right here. We'll go that way. There's a dirt path here or so. Road over there, east and west. Good, then we'll roll the wings back to level here. Now, Nadine, do you remember earlier I said the last thing I'm going to have you do here today is I'm going to have you fly the pattern to land and line up the airplane with the runway? Do you remember that? All right, we're going to practice doing that now. So I want you to make a right-hand turn, follow the road, head to the west. Right now we're heading to the southwest. There you go. Now we're heading west. We'll roll the wings to level. Let's imagine right in this field right here, right beside us, there's a runway. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly a rectangle in the sky. We're going to go straight, and once we get past those power lines down there, we're going to bring the power back and start to descend. You'll make another left-hand turn, and then you'll make another left-hand turn. You're going to line up the airplane with the imaginary runway that you have in this field right here. So it's a practice approach to land right here.
My turn here?
Nope, I'm going to gently bring the power back, because this is what it's going to sound like in the pattern. Lower the nose, We don't want to stall the airplane. We want to maintain 75. Go ahead and make a left-hand turn here. Shallow turn to your left. Nothing too steep. That's good right there. Perfect. This is the field we're looking for right there. Just imagine there's a runway right in the middle of that field. Go ahead and line up the airplane with your imaginary runway. And just keep letting it come on down. Just like you're going to land it. I'm going to bring the power back a little bit. There's some power lines, let it come on down. There you go.
Cool.
It's kind of cool. So good. And so lower the nose. Let it just fly straight for now. Yeah, enjoy the view. I mean, we're down here at about 50 feet above the field here. Cool. You're a crumb duster pilot. All right, we want to climb straight ahead, 75 miles an hour. Lower the nose, man. Don't stall it here. Get the nose up. Power lines. All right, Nadine, here's what's next. That was practice. We're going to go do that now for real. So, good. We'll roll the wings to level here, to the right. And I want you to climb straight ahead. We're looking for 1,500 feet, 75 miles an hour. 1,500 feet, lower the nose. There's 65. Don't stall it. There's 65, lower that nose, lower the nose, gotta maintain your speed. Good. All right, so we're gonna continue climbing. I'm gonna give the tower a call. I'm gonna tell them who we are, where we're at, and what we're gonna be doing here. Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1, we're about 5 southeast inbound to 17.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo Tower, wind field 1705, enter left downwind runway 17.
Left downwind 17, Stearman 1. Nadine, do you see the airport off your right? It's way over there. Yep, I want you to make a right-hand turn, head over towards that airport. Good. There's 1,300 feet. We're still looking for 1,500 feet. We'll roll the wings back to level here. Hold it right here. Doing good. So after about 10 hours of this, I tell you, hey, listen, I want you to take this airplane out to 29 Palms. What an adventure that would be, huh? Well, and somebody else is paying for the gas, that'd be even better.
Yeah.
Back to your right, now you should be able to see the airport.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I want you to head right into the middle of it. So we're going to be doing the same thing you did before, big old rectangle in the sky. This time, you don't have to imagine any runway. We're going to line it up with the main runway here at Kalamazoo. So we'll go straight ahead for about another mile or so, and then I'll have you make a shallow turn to your right, and then you'll fly parallel to our runway. When we get to the end of the runway, there's Kilgore Road. We'll make a left-hand turn over Kilgore Road, and then you'll line it on up. All right, let's go ahead and make a right-hand turn here. And I want you to fly parallel to our runway. There you go, good. if you look over off your left, you can see the runway. You see it there?
Yeah.
All right. So.
Stearman 1, runway 17, clear to land.
Clear to land 17, Stearman 1. You doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is called left downwind, and we call it left downwind because all your turns are going to be to the left. And downwind because the little wind we have is from behind us. So those 30-degree angle of bank turns, Nadine, that you did at first, that's what we're going to be looking to do here in the pattern. Nothing too steep. And there's Kilgore Road. You can see the school buses on it right there. There's a school bus, box truck, bunch of cars. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to gently bring the power back like we did before. If for some reason the engine quit us here, guess what? We're going to land on the airport. That's what I care about. There's Kilgore. Good. We'll make this shallow left-hand turn. Keep it coming left.
Wind 1306.
Thank you. 17, the runway that says 17, there's a little tiny bit of left to right crosswind. See if you can line it up here. Good. Let's do it, Nadine. I'm going to take her from here. I have the airplane, just have your feet on the floor, get this thing lined up here. Now, are your feet on the floor?
Yep.
Okay, good. Now listen to this. Listen, this is why that stalling was so important. We're listening to it, we're listening right above the runway. So, it's interesting because we can't see anything. So what we do is we look straight ahead and we can see the sides of the runway. And we're trying
Roll the 1 right on Bravo 3,
Yeah.
Bravo to the zoo, this frequency.
Stearman 1.
Yeah, you see
Stearman 1 right on Bravo 3, Bravo to the zoo, this frequency.
Bravo 3 to the zoo with you, Stearman 1.
Yeah, you could tell if you were not.
Yeah, exactly. And so if I was looking out to the right, I knew a guy who was taxiing around in something similar to this biplane, and he had a tendency to always look to the right. Well, he hit an airplane on the left with his wing. So, yeah, we'll head on in. Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed yourself here today.
Yeah, I could see me doing this again. I think maybe in the spring I'll bring my my younger sister. She'd like this.
You think she'd like that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's like me.
Adventurous type.
Oh yeah, she's 12 years younger, but she retired from the military. She's an attorney, and she retired when she was a major. She went to Bosnia. Yeah, she's very adventurous. She likes this kind of stuff. Right.
So we're going to pull the mixture back to lean, take that one last deep whiff of 100 octane burning up there. So good. That completes your mission.
Wow.
Great job.